we spoke about the first step, which means to discover the donkey and seek help. That's the first step. We spoke about identifying the donkey within. First of all, to see our fallen condition of how we are not aware of Krishna. The pure Vaishnavas see only Krishna, and we see everything except reality. 5,000 years ago, the places didn't look the way it looks today. And another 5,000 years from now, it won't look the way it is today. So it's all changing. But there's one thing which didn't change 5,000 years ago, today, and 5,000 years later. That's Krishna. So when we focus on that reality which doesn't change, we are in truth. We have true vision. But when we are focusing on the things which are flickering and changing around us, then that's faulty vision. Krishna is the underlying reality behind every object, behind everything. The object that we see is actually the effect of a cause. We may see something made out of wood. So that's the effect. But the cause is the substance, wood. But the wood is actually an effect, which has an underlying cause. You could go finally to say that, well, it's all molecules. But then molecules are an effect where the cause are the atoms. And you go further, inner and inner, inner and inner. You try understanding what is the cause behind this effect. Then that cause is actually the effect which has another cause behind it. And that cause is actually an effect which has another cause behind it. And it's Krishna who's the cause of all causes. Who's the only person who exists. Krishna is the only reality which exists. And everything else is simply a moving decoration which changes with time. It's like flickering lights during Diwali. It's flickering. Everything is moving. Today, manufactured, disintegrates, expiry. But Krishna exists all the time. So true vision is to see Krishna. Is to see everything in relation to Krishna. To see Krishna as the origin, Krishna as the controller, Krishna as the source, Krishna as the proprietor. Everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna existed before creation, exists after destruction, and he's the one who maintains it. Pure Vaishnavas have that vision. But we have a vision to see everything else except that reality. So much so that we even doubt the existence of that reality. Srila Prabhupada, after the famous San Francisco Rath Yatra, right? When the Rath was parked, Srila Prabhupada came and he had fresh sannyas clothing and he bowed down completely. And he got up and there was dirt, mud on his fresh sannyas cloth. So one disciple said, Prabhupada, your cloth just got dirty. Why did you bow down to the Rath? Jagannath's already gone in. Prabhupada bowed down and he said, this Rath is non-different. Jagannath has never had a Rath Yatra in the Western world. And it's because of this Rath that Jagannath had his first ever Rath Yatra. I bow down to the wheels of this Rath. What mood? एक पदार्थेषु त्रिधा भवति वीक्षितै कुणप कामिनी मांसं योगिभिः कामिभिश्वभिः एक पदार्थेषु त्रिधा भवति वीक्षितै. There's one object in this example which are being seen by three people. There's one personality, one girl, young girl is walking past the road. And three people are observing her. And on the basis of their consciousness, they see three different things. Eka padartheshu, the person is one. Tridha Bhavati Dikshitaye. The vision is three different. Kunapa Kamini Mamsam Yogi Bhi Kami Bhishwavi. One person, the yogi, sees her as a bag of bones. Sees her as part and parcel of Krishna and everything else bag of bones. Kunapaha. Kunapaha means bag of bones. Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke swadhi kalatradhishu bhavamahijyati. Yatirtha buddhi salilena karihichit janeshu abhitnyeshu saeva gokhara. Kunapa means a bag of bones and flesh. So the yogi is seeing this walking girl as part and parcel of Krishna and her body to be a bag of bones. Kunapaha. Kamini. And the lusty man is seeing her as an object of enjoyment. And Mamsam. The dog is seeing her as meat, flesh. So Kunapaha means bag of bones. Kamini means object of enjoyment, and Mamsam, flesh. And they have been seen by Yogi Bihi, Kami Bihi, Shwabihi. By a yogi, by a lusty man, and by a dog. The question is, just in one walking personality or one object under supervision or observation, there are three different visions. Which one is right? The vision which is right is that which is connected to Krishna. Because that reconnects us back to reality. Every object in this world can be seen on the basis of our consciousness. We spoke before the break that a low-class man sees cow as meat or beef. And a top-class Vaishnava sees cow as the object of love for Gopal. On the basis of our consciousness, we see things differently and then we say, this is your opinion, this is my opinion. You think so, I don't think so. We're all playing that game. 7 billion people, 14 billion opinions. But nobody's hitting the right target because if we have Krishna, there's only one opinion Krishna has. Bhagavad Gita, the song of Krishna's opinion. If you want to ask him, that personality who owns everything, then those are the 700 verses we approach. But apart from that, you think something, I think something, she thinks something, we all think something, then how can we have universal peace? It's universal pieces. We're all in pieces. We can have universal brotherhood only when we establish universal fatherhood. And here, Dhenukasur is taking fruits which belong to Balaram as his. That's Balaram's mercy, part 1. The fact that the fruits which belong to Krishna and Balaram, he gives it to Dhenukasur. But Dhenukasur, in his ignorance, takes it from Krishna and Balaram and thinks, actually it's mine and I don't want to give it to you. What happened to Sudama? Chapter 80, 81, Canto 10. We oftentimes talk about he didn't give Krishna's share and became poor. Oftentimes people ask this question, what type of a fair God or a friendly person would curse his friend or his devotee to utter poverty for not giving him one palmful of puffed rice? And you say that God is Patita Pavan? No, it's not for the puffed rice. Krishna is using Sudama to teach the world a spectacular lesson. Poha or puffed rice or rice that's seen there, it's simply a detail. The principle is everything that belongs to Krishna, if it is not offered to Krishna back, then we suffer. Our eyes belong to Krishna. And if we don't see him and we see other things, it'll be taken back. Krishna would take it. We would have poverty in terms of the eyes. Our body belongs to Krishna. Our senses belong to Krishna. Our mind, intelligence, everything belongs to Krishna. And like Sudama, if we take it from Krishna, that which is his, and secretly try to enjoy, poverty. Everything that's given to us must be offered back to Krishna. If we go to an ophthalmologist, just go to an eye specialist and you say, I need to remove cataract from one of my eyes. How much would it cost? And now if you tell him, I need one eye, completely new one, how much would it cost? Any estimate here? Now if I ask you a pair of eyes, how much would it cost? Completely fresh, brand new, and it should be like sparkling and like really nice. And then if you say, I want one nose and pair of ears and a tongue and lips and everything working perfectly, and hands, legs, heart which pumps, brain, lungs, all of these senses, how much do we owe? Zillions and trillions and quadrillions? Krishna gives it for free. For what? To do bhajan, to do bhakti. Not that we take it from him. I'm not answerable to anyone. I'm not responsible. I can use it for myself. Then we will have poverty. Not with respect to money, but poverty with respect to that sense. God Nitai give us everything. The food that we eat, the shelter that we have, the clothes that we wear, the eyes which see them, come from them. The mind which we can use to hear and understand Hari Katha, the ears, the tongue to chant Hari Nam, everything comes from Krishna. But if we don't give it to him, we are a donkey. Dhenukasur takes it from Krishna and Balaram, doesn't want to give it back. He's an ass. And he's doing that to whom? To Krishna, who has always been the one who gives fruits to everyone. The fruit of our actions is given by Krishna. Good activities, Krishna gives a good fruit. He's the one who gives the fruits of our activities. And in Vrindavan, when the fruit vendor came and gave fruits to the person who gives fruits to everyone, Shukdev Goswami describes Krishna as Sarva Phala Prada. He who gives fruits of all activities to everyone is begging for fruits in Braja. And he came with rice. Everything slipping from between, the gap between his fingers. And Krishna is called as Achyuta then. He who never falls from his position, from his hands, rice started falling down. And that personality who has so much experience with fruits is denied fruits by the person who was blessed with fruits by Krishna and Balaram. This is our position, is it not? Dhenukasur is not a demon who existed 5,000 years ago, who doesn't exist now. Ravana is dead and gone. Duryodhana is dead and gone. Kumbhakarna is dead and gone. Kamsa is dead and gone. Dhenukasur is dead and gone. But the principle, the ideal, the value that they held is still alive. And that's within us. If we analyze, we are more of Duryodhana and less of Yudhishthira. We are more of Ravana and less of Vibhishan. Because the ideals that Ravana and Duryodhana and Dhenuka hold is what we hold in life. We don't want to surrender to Krishna. We don't want to give anything to Krishna. Anyway, at the time of death, he takes it back. It's not about whether or not to give him. He anyway takes it back. Mrityu sarva harashchaham. But those who give it while being alive are glorious. Karmana manasa gira jivan mukta sa uchyate. Those who give their body, mind and words to Krishna while being alive. Those who offer their fruits like the fruit vendor get blessed with jewels. The jewel of Krishna Prema. Dhan, wealth means Prema. Prema dhana vina vyartha daridra jivan. Your Dhenukasura was saying it's only for me. So this is the first lesson. to identify the donkey and seek help from Guru and Krishna. And how did the boys seek help? They called out, Hey Rama, Hey Krishna, which means Harinam and chanting prayers. Prayers of Gajendra, prayers of Bhishma, prayers of Dhruva, prayers of Prahlad, prayers of Queen Kunti. Prabhu was talking about prayers of demigods in the womb of Devaki yesterday. These prayers we must chant before Gaur Nitai. Every Sunday feast we come, we should have a new contribution to our deities from our side. Hey Bhagavan, O Gauranga, Ho Nityananda, this Sunday when I come, one new verse, one new bhajan I will sing from my side to you. May not be in the mic, but I will sing for you. I will chant it for you. I will memorize and give you my update, what I did for you this week. We come here. Are we coming here to see the Lord, or are we coming here to be seen by the Lord? We come. We perform the eye exercise for some time. We look around. How many of us are watching us? And then whether or not to bow down. But every Sunday when we come, O Krishna, O Balaram, you are standing here, Dhenuka is here. I surrender the Dhenuka of my heart to you. Calling out, Hey Krishna, Hey Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now, is the thing working? Okay. So, the next section is verse 28 and 29. In this section, we will find Balaram entering and shaking the tree. That's exactly what we're going to see. And the title for this section is The Empowered Ever-Well-Wisher. That's the title for this. The title for the previous one was Discover the Donkey and Seek Help. And the title for this one is The Empowered Ever-Well-Wisher. So is it up on the TV? Okay, just give me a hint when it's up, so then I'll continue. So, Balaram here, after being invited in, enters, starts shaking trees. This is the duty of the spiritual master who is called in the heart by the disciple. It's up there? When it's up, you just give me a thumbs up. So when the true disciple prays to the spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada will help. There was one devotee who was telling me a story of how in a certain place in this world, there was one sincere soul who there was no center, there was no temple, no devotees. In some part of the world, I don't remember the details, but he was so sincere, he was crying at the feet of Srila Prabhupada. At the picture of Srila Prabhupada, he was crying, he said, Prabhupada, I want to preach, but I don't know what to do, I don't know how to preach, I don't know what to speak. I wish this city changes. He was so sincere and he was performing such first-class sadhana that Prabhupada empowered. And he was the one who opened up the center in that city. And in the first anniversary of that center, he broke down saying, I remember those days. I had no prasadam. I had no kirtan. I had no devotees. I would have these relatives tell me, come here, come there, and I couldn't even have an excuse to tell them I'm going here. I had to go. But then I cried to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada did the needful. He was the empowered ever-well-wisher who walked through and worked through me. Arjuna is in the middle of the battlefield, is in trouble. If it doesn't come out, no problem. I mean, it'll be ideal if it comes out, but I don't know what the issue is.
Technical issue. We could read aloud though.
Yes, if somebody can read it aloud through the phone, that should be fine. So, this is the point here. Balaram walks in. The friends are saying, oh, please come in. Krishna and Balaram, please come and help us. Kill this demon and give us the fruits. We are performing bhakti. We are not getting the juice of bhakti. We are chanting Harinam. We are not getting the juice. We are performing Vaishnav Seva but no juice. We are critical and hypocritical. We are reading Bhagavatam but no juice. We are going to Vrindavan but no juice. Why? Because we are missing the tal fruits in our life, because this Dhenuka within is guarding. Every story in Bhagavatam, it's not somewhere there. It's in my life right now. Nityam, it's eternal. These personalities stand for voices in my heart. They relate to me. Every verse opens up jewels of practical application. So these friends are saying, please help us taste those fruits by destroying the demon. So, O Gurudev, O Prabhupada, O Shri Krishna, help me taste bhakti by destroying the demon of Dhenukasura within. And what Balaram does is next.
Lord Balaram entered the Tala forest first. Then with his 2 arms, he began forcefully shaking the trees with the power of a maddened elephant, causing the tal fruits to fall to the ground.
Hearing the sound of the falling fruits, the demon Dhenuka ran forward to attack, making the earth and trees tremble.
So we find here, Balaram with one hand starts shaking these tal trees. And as he's doing that, Dhenukasura is getting affected. Because he sees, and he in fact doesn't see, but he hears the falling sound of the fruits. Balaram could have done so many other things. He could have just gone in and found Dhenukasura first, just killed him and then done the needful. Is it not? He could have just invited, called out with a thundering voice, why don't you come out? I challenge you. But no. He went and shook the trees. Why? Because he knew that will pinch Dhenukasura's egoistic nerve the most. So the lesson to be learned here is the spiritual master exactly knows what is the right way to pinch the Dhenukasura out. Srila Prabhupada. He went to the Indian embassy because he wanted extended visa for his American disciples in India. So he went with his followers to the embassy, and he had, I think, 2 of them who went there, and they were very nervous. What is Prabhupada going to talk, and how is Prabhupada going to convince the ambassador there, talk to them about to extend the visa for his American disciples in India, that they can, the religious visa, so that they can stay there longer doing some preaching work. So the disciples were nervous when they went to the embassy. But Prabhupada was sitting calm, like just massaging his cheeks and sitting like royal like a swan. Completely transcendental. The ring on his hand just shining, and then Prabhupada's face is self-effulgent. Sitting like a lion there. And Prabhupada went there. And as he started speaking to this person in the embassy, out of nowhere Prabhupada spoke about Rupa Goswami. He got to know where he's from and started speaking about Rupa Goswami. And the conversation went on for like good 25 minutes. Prabhupada gave an Upadeshamrita. And with that gesture, that person was so touched. He looked at Prabhupada and he said, I can do anything for you. In 25 minutes. What do you want? Prabhupada said, I want you to talk to Indira Gandhi and speak to extend the visa for all my followers in India. Whoever they're there, and to help. And that's exactly what happened. That disciple of Prabhupada who went to the embassy, he said, goodness, I could have never imagined anyone come and speak about Rupa Goswami here. And then he said, with tears he said, that person is an ambassador of the material plane. This personality is the ambassador of the spiritual plane. And he held his standard. He didn't come onto the material plane to speak material topics with him, but he pulled him up to the spiritual plane and said, I will speak on only in this plane. He didn't step down, he had him step up. So Prabhupada exactly knew what to speak, how to speak, to whom, when, and where. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his Gaudiya Math in Navadvip, he had a disciple. Are they closing the curtain?
Oh, yes. 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Is everybody there in the story? Can I? Is that okay? So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had a surrendered disciple, Brahmachari, in his Gaudiya Math. And that disciple wanted to go home because he became terminally ill. He wanted to go and see his mother. Jai Shri Krishna. Just like the curtains close and now we cannot see the Lord. And then the curtains open and we can see the Lord. This is how the Lord appears and disappears. He's always there. He's always there, but sometimes we see him, sometimes we don't. Maya Javanika Chandam. Na Lakshase Mudadrisha Nato Natya Darvita. Everything around us speaks about Krishna. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had this disciple who felt terminally ill and wanted to go home. He was a brahmachari. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur didn't let him. Said, you cannot go. He said, I want to see my mother one last time because I have been a brahmachari all my life. I'm anyway going to die. I want to see my mother. He said, no, I won't let you go. And finally, his days were numbered. And one day before he left his body, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told his servant, who was there in that Navdeep Math, Gaudiya Math, take him and give him to his mother. And the servant, now the patient the brahmachari didn't want to leave. Because he said, no, wait a minute. This is Navadvip and my mother is in Calcutta. I asked you to go, if I could go and see her when I was still better in my health. Now I'm going to die. I don't want to leave the dham. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, nothing to it. Now you have to go to Calcutta. So it was inconceivable that he didn't let him go then, and now he was forcing him to go. When he was almost going to die. He said, you have to go. He said, no, oh Guru Maharaj, I don't want to leave the dham. I want to leave my body in Navadvip. He said, nothing to it. You're going to leave your body in Calcutta. Go. Somebody who was lifelong servant. So he was taken out unwillingly by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's servant and put on the train, and he left his body on the train. And the person who took him was completely disturbed. He came back and asked his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, Gurudev, I understand we should never cross-question our spiritual master. But I really see a need here. He served the mutt all his life. He was young. He gave his life as a brahmachari to you. He asked to go and he wanted to go and see his mother, but you didn't let him. And when he did want to, he wanted to leave his body. He could have left his body in Navadvip. But you forced him out of the dham. I really want to know why. I'm asking out of sincere, submissive obedience. I really want to know. I want to know the thought process. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if I would have let him go then, he would have left his body in Calcutta. So I didn't let him go. If I would have kept him here, he would have died in Navadvip thinking of his mother. I pushed him out of the dham, so he dies out of the dham thinking of Navadvip. Doesn't matter where you leave your body, this does matter what you think. Antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kaleva. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajyatante kaleva. Doesn't matter where we live. Of course, Prabodhananda Saraswati will not agree to this. He will say, you have to leave your body in Vrindavan. But the underlying principle is thought process. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as a perfect spiritual master, knew what was right at that point. If I send him home, he will leave his body in Calcutta thinking of his mother. If I leave him here, he will die here but thinking of his mother. But if I let him go forcefully, he will die outside but he'll think of Navadvip Chandra, the land of Navadvip, saying that I am out of the Dham. The attachment will take him back to Nitya Navadvip. The disciple fell at the feet of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and he said, Guru Dasatvam Aimora Parichay. At this point, I declare, O Gurudev, my only identity is that I am your servant. So the spiritual master exactly knows how to take those fruits out. Baldev Prabhu knew, by shaking the trees, this is how I can take the Dhenukasur out. Srila Prabhupada exactly knew. We need the 16 rounds minimum. We need the 4 regulative principles. We need the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. We need serving Vaishnavas. We need worship of Tulsi and deities. We need observing Ekadashi. These are things which Baladev Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada is doing. He's shaking the trees, the tall, proud trees of our material conceptions. But if we don't accept them, the Dhenukasura will never come out. We got to accept that Prabhupada or Baladev Prabhu here exactly knows what is right. The practice, the 4 regulative principles, the prescription and the proscription, the reading, the hearing, the sadhana, first class sadhana, the seva, the sangha, Vaishnav sangha, everything that Prabhupada wanted us to do, everything that our spiritual master wants us to do, everything that it takes to get Krishna and Balaram. That's our aim. That's our aim. Whatever Prabhupada says, yes, 100%. Whatever our acharyas say, yes. Whatever our Gurudev says, yes. Not even an inch, not even a degree. Should never think they are mere mortals. They are Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale. They are sent down by Krishna for us. Prabhupada walked on the surface of earth for us. He didn't know us, but he did so much. We know him. What are we doing? How much are we absorbing? How much are we practicing? How much are we sharing? Each one of us have that responsibility, personally and collectively. We are ISKCON individually and ISKCON collectively, which means ISKCON. This is ISKCON. Practice of Krishna consciousness within. And practicing and sharing, each one of us. Prabhupada expects so much from us. We got to do more. We all got to do more. Only then, because Dhenukasura is not staying alone. He has his donkey friends, by the way. So this is the section. Just 2 verses. But depth. Balaram is shaking the trees for a purpose. And what happens next is the next section. It goes from verse 30 to 37.
The powerful demon rushed up to Lord Baladev and sharply struck the Lord's chest with the hooves of his hind legs. Then Dhenuka began to run about, braying loudly.
Moving again towards Lord Balaram, O king, the furious ass situated himself with his back towards the Lord. Then, screaming in rage, the demon hurled his 2 hind legs at him. Lord Balarama seized Dhenuka by his hooves, whirled him about with one hand, and drew him into the top of a palm tree. The violent wheeling motion killed the demon.
Lord Balarama threw the dead body of Dhenukasura into the tallest palm tree in the forest, and when the dead demon landed in the tree top, the tree began shaking. The great palm tree, causing a tree by its side also to shake, broke under the weight of the demon. The neighboring tree caused yet another tree to shake, and this one struck yet another tree, which also began shaking. In this way, many trees in the forest shook and broke.
Because of Lord Balarama's pastime of throwing the body of the ass demon into the top of the tallest palm tree, all the trees began shaking and striking against one another as if blown about by powerful winds.
My dear Parikshit, that Lord Balaram killed Dhanukasur is not such a wonderful thing, considering that he is the unlimited personality of Godhead, the controller of the entire universe. Indeed, the entire cosmos rests upon him. Just a woven cloth rests upon its own horizontal and vertical threads.
The other ass demons, close friends to Dinakasura, were arranged upon seeing his death, and thus they all immediately ran to attack Krishna and Balarama.
O king, as the demons attacked Krishna and Balaram, easily seized them one after another by their hind legs, and threw them all into the tops of palm trees.
I can imagine how sweet the fruits would be. Is that 37?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What's happening here? Balaram is shaking the tree, the fruits are falling, it's agitating the donkey. Dhenukasur comes out. He comes out because he's agitated. Krishna jumped into the into the pond of Kalia. And what did Krishna start doing? He was swimming. He was just enjoying. Why? Because he knew that would agitate. If he went there and did something else, it may have not. But Krishna knew if he frolics and swims and enjoys, that will bring the Kali out. Here Balaram knows, by shaking the tree, the Dhenukasura will come out. Krishna and Guru know, they are the surgeons. They know how to operate. But for that, we have to become patients, meaning go and sleep there. Full surrender. You can go to a doctor and say, oh, you know your stuff, right? You sure? I want to see how good you are. You don't do that. You go to a reputed doctor, you put on the patient clothing, and you're ready for whatever he wants to do with you. You surrender yourself to him. Similarly, we have to surrender ourselves. We have to let the surgeon, Srila Prabhupada, Guru, Krishna, work on us. If we retaliate and we don't surrender to them, they cannot operate on us. We have to give ourselves. So Kali was agitated by that. Balaram agitated Dhenukasur. And what did Dhenukasur do? He came out. And instead of saying, well, Balaram, this belongs to you anyway. Sorry, I didn't give it to you till now. Being the donkey, ran. So it's like Dhenukasur is running, then turns over and tries to kick with his back legs. Proving time and again that he's a donkey. And Krishna and Balaram exactly know which animal to attack how. With Arishtasur, Krishna held the horns. With Keshi, he put his hand in the mouth. But here, with Dhenukasur, it's centrifugal force. Spinning him over. So he comes, kicks the chest of Balaram, starts singing sweetly, braying. Donkeys love their bray, by the way. That's another lesson there. When we are too much full in ourselves, that's donkey. So he came and kicked with his hind legs, and nothing happened. Balaram was waiting again. Again, he took his stance, ran back, positioned himself, looked at Balaram, came running again turned over, again kicked. Which means Guru Aparad. Guru is trying to do something good, but we offend him. We offend the personality who's coming to do good for us. It's like the house is on fire. The structure is on fire. And then the emergency exit, which is the only way to get out. I repeat, the structure is on fire. And the emergency exit, which is the only way to get out, is jammed. What's going to happen? We're going to burn to death inside. Guru and pure Vaishnavas are emergency exits in this fired structure of the material existence. And if we offend them, if we offend Vaishnavas, if we offend Sri Guru, we are slamming and jamming the only emergency exits we have out of this material existence. But what comes out of pure Vaishnavas that Balaram is teaching us here? Even when they're offended, they think good about that person. Narad Muni was offended by Mani Griva and Nalakuvera. They were bathing naked, so the river, it's offense to the holy river, it's offense to the Dham, it's offense to Lord Shiva. It's offense to Narad Muni because he's walking past and Mani Griva and Nalakuvera don't even get up, don't even walk out and bow down. So that's offense. But in return, what do they get? You will be Brajvasis. You will live in Vrindavan forever, not a step out. Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati, because they're trees. And that too in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Plus, you will have free subscription to all the direct pastimes of Krishna. And most importantly, you can talk to Krishna. Krishna will come and give you back your original forms. Wow, that's blessing. Devotees do bhajan and sadhana to get that. And this is what they get by offending. It's like very simple. You squeeze an orange, what do you get? What comes out? Orange juice. Never will you have mango juice out. Which means, what is in is what is out. When we are squeezed and completely crushed in life, what comes out is agitation, irritation. We are provoked, retaliation, revenge, vengeance. What is in is what is out when squeezed. But sadhus, titikshava karunika surida sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushan. The more you crush them, the more juice comes out. Sweet nectar. Durvasa Muni is another example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they were performing their Sankirtan pastimes on the banks of the Ganga. And one crocodile came out and touched the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became a Gandharva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, you were a crocodile. You touched my feet and you became a Gandharva. What's your story? He said, I was a very naughty boy. I went and cut the beard of Durvasa Muni when he was meditating. I was so naughty that I was thinking, this sadhu has a long beard and he's not seeing it. Let me go and just... And I did that. And Durvasa opened his eyes and he said, oh, you like to cut others and have pleasure? May you become a crocodile. But then I said, I'm just an innocent boy. I mean, please don't take offense. He said, no problem. You'll be a crocodile in Ganga and you will touch the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Wow. I wish I was that boy doing that. Cutting the beard of Durvasa. How could I become a crocodile in Ganga? People go to Ganga to take snan. Here's the crocodile performing Ganga snan in Navadvip all his life. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come with the Sankirtan party with our Nityananda Prabhu. And you can go and touch the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Superb. This is what you get by cutting the beard of Durvasa. Then what can be achieved by serving a sadhu? Son of a maid servant serves the Bhakti Vedantas becomes Narad Muni. Here, the donkey is kicking the chest of Balaram. And what is he getting in return? Balaram is holding him, which means he's accepting the kick. When he's kicking Balaram, Balaram doesn't hold the donkey's ears. Balaram's holding the feet of the donkey, which means Yat tapas, yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi tadasi, yat tapasyasi kauntaya tad kurushva madarapanam. Whatever you give me, I'll accept. You give me your kick, I'll accept. He's accepting the feet of the donkey. Oh, that's what you want to give me? Krishna's like an open electric wire. Anybody who touches gets spiritually electrocuted. Whether you mean it, you don't mean it. Balaram is approached by this donkey with the mood of kicking. He said, you kick with your feet, you're giving your feet to me, I accept. And not just that, he spins him over, meaning he's killing and removing his donkeyness out. The Krishna book describes it's not by the throwing that he died by the spinning. And then he was thrown high up, which means Guru spins out the anartha and gives you an elevated position. Gives you an elevated position. This section is called Nectar Amidst Poison. This is the third section of our discussion. And where do they get this from? They get it from Krishna, of course. Krishna is like this. In our world, somebody comes and gives us nectar and we give them poison. They come and give us good advice, something good, and we just criticize. And in Krishna, Putana comes and gives poison and Krishna makes her eternal. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jingham saya payadatya sadvi lebhe gatim datri muchitam tatonyam kimva dayalum sharanam prajena. Canto 3, chapter 2, text 23, Bhagavad. She came with poison and Krishna gave her nectar. Balaram, donkey is coming with poison and he is removing the donkeyness out, killing the donkey. He's making the donkey give up his body, which means the death of that anartha. And elevation, a better upliftment. Better upliftment. This is Sri Guru. There are such wonderful pastimes in the life of Srila Prabhupada. You know that famous story of how Prabhupada was doing a program and a person who was drugged was sitting there in the assembly. And at the end, he understood he has to give something to Prabhupada. So he walked all the way and from his pocket removed a roll of toilet paper and gifted it to Prabhupada. Said, this is for you. And Prabhupada accepted it. It was a tissue roll, toilet paper. And one of the servants of Prabhupada got really annoyed. That's abuse, that's blasphemy. You don't give your spiritual master toilet paper. Prabhupada said, that's all that he has and he values. And that which he has and he values, he's given it to me and I accept. He said, because of this act, Krishna will give him Sukha. He's offering at least something. I don't see what he's offering. But the thought that he wants to give me something, that's what I accept. Here, Dhenuka is coming and offering the feet and Balaram says, so be it, I accept. Whatever you give me your ears, I'll accept. You give me your body, I'll accept. You came, overall body, the whole body came to me, I accept. Finished, end of demoniac donkey body. And now you'll stay up. You wanted to be the king, don't be a donkey. Be the king on top of all the tal trees. Now the final section, verse 38 to 40. Let's read that quickly. So this is 38 to 41.
The earth then appeared beautifully covered with heaps of fruits and with the dead bodies of the demons, which were entangled in the broken tops of palm trees. Indeed, the earth shone like the sky decorated with clouds.
Hearing of this magnificent feat of the two brothers, the demigods and other elevated living beings rained down flowers and offered music and prayers in glorification.
People now felt free to return to the forest where Dhenuka had been killed, and without fear they ate the fruits of the palm trees. Also the cows could not graze freely upon the grass there.
Then Lotus eyed Lord Sri Krishna, whose glories are most pious to hear and chant, returned home to Vraja with his elder brother Balaram. Along the way, the cow herd boys, his faithful followers, chanted his glory.
When Krishna's hair, powdered with the dust raised by the cows, was decorated with the peacock feather and forest flowers, the Lord glanced charmingly and smiled beautifully. Playing along his flute while his companions chanted his glories. The gopis all together came forward to meet him, their eyes very eager to see him.
Would there be like eyes, the women of Vrindavan drank the honey of...
So after this we'll stop. Please, go. Because that enters another question. So, no problem. Please read this.
Would there be like eyes, the women of Vrindavan drank the honey of the beautiful face of Lord Mukunda, and thus became of the distress they had felt during the day because the young Vrindavan ladies cast sidelong glances at the Lord, glances filled with bashfulness, laughter, and submission, and Krishna completely accepting these glances, the proper offering of respect, entered the cowherd village.
Okay. So there are many things happening here. One, after Dhenukasura is killed, his friends come out. And they are also destroyed in the same way as Baladev destroyed. So Baladev had a plan, and Krishna and all other boys followed the same plan. And everybody succeeded. What does this mean? Mahajano Yinagata Sapanta. Follow the footsteps of great souls. Balaram is Guru Tattva, is a great personality. And even Krishna follows the footsteps of great souls. Anu vrajamyaham nityam puyayityangri renubihi. Krishna says, I walk behind my pure devotees. Why? So that the dust raised by their lotus feet touches my body and I become pure. Anu vrajamyaham nityam. I always follow my pure devotees. Puyayityangri renubihi. By the dust from their lotus feet, when it touches my body, I become pure. So Krishna is following the footsteps of Balaram, and all the devotees, the boys here, are following the footsteps of Balaram. He did this, we also do this. Exactly. That's what works. Oftentimes Prabhupada would say, do as I do. Just preach as I preach. Speak as I speak. So we have to follow the mood of great acharyas, predecessor acharyas. If we deviate, then we can kill the other demoniac friends. Cannot. So that's one. Second, this Dhenukasura and all his friends were killed, and there were dead bodies everywhere. The Anand Vrindavan Champu Kavi Karanapur describes in this pastime that the friends who came there to eat the fruits, by the way, didn't eat the fruits now. Because they saw dead bodies all over and blood stains. And according to Vaishnava etiquette, blood is impure. So even when Krishna killed Shishupal through the Sudarshan Chakra, he made sure that not a drop fell there, because that was the arena for the yajna. So if a drop of blood fell there, a spot of blood, then the whole thing has to be purified again. So Krishna killed without a drop of blood. So here there was blood, dead bodies of donkeys, and fruits everywhere. So the boys who were actually hungry didn't have hunger anymore. This is a very important lesson. The lesson here is that the fruits could also mean material enjoyment. And when the anarthas are killed or destroyed, our desire to enjoy also goes away. Yadpada pankaja palasha vilasha bhaktya karmashayan gratitam udgratayanti santa tadvanna rikta matayo yatayopi santa shrotrum ganastamaranam bhaja vasudevam. When Krishna, he has to fulfill desires of the living entity. He fulfills them in such a way that never again will you ask for it. Ami vidnya e murkhe vishay kene diba? Nija charanamrita diya visha bhulaiva. If somebody, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, If somebody asks me for a material thing, Ami Vidnya, I know it is poisonous for him. A Murkhe, he's coming to me and asking for material things. These boys are going to Krishna and Balaram and asking for material things in our context. Nija charanamrita diya visha bhulaiva. When they ask for something material, there's a spot in the heart from where material desires are coming out, if you may think. There's like a small hole in the pipe of the heart, and material desires are sprouting, bubbles are coming out. Krishna places his lotus feet on that hole. You heard of M seal?
Yes.
This is Mukunda sealing there. He seals it up in such a way that no more material desires will sprout. He places his lotus feet, and we are so absorbed seeing the lotus feet that the thought of the desire is gone. So they asked for the fruits, but Krishna and Balaram, when they finished off the anartha, Dhenuka, no longer did they eat the fruits. And finally, this section, the final section, is called Universal Peace. So 4 sections. The first section is called Discovering the Donkey and Seeking Help. The second section is called The Empowered Ever-Well-Wisher. The third section is called Nectar Amidst Poison. And the fourth section is called Universal Peace. So it's very easy to remember. Discover the Donkey is D. Seek Help is H. Empowered Ever-Well-Wisher is E. Nectar Amidst Poison is N. And Universal Peace is U. Dhenu. 4 lessons to remember out of this. Universal peace. How did they find universal peace? When they destroyed everything, the demigods started offering flowers, and amidst all this, Krishna on one side, Balaram on the other, everybody around is chanting their glories, clapping and dancing, and everybody's happy. So the secret, Shanti Mrichati, is to keep Guru and Krishna in the center, follow their instructions, be an empowered servant. They did it, we did it. And chant and dance for their pleasure. This is universal peace. Nothing independent of Guru and Krishna. They are singing for Krishna. They are singing for Guru. And in this way, they walk past back to the village in the evening. And Krishna is sweating. The drops of sweat are like dewdrops on Krishna's beautiful lotus face. And his dark complexion with the dewdrop, with the sweat, with the rays of the setting sun, and the dust of the hoof prints, the hoof of the cows and the cows. All of this mixes, and Krishna is looking so beautiful. And they're entering the village back in universal peace. Now, as we wrap up that pastime, it's important to note why Balaram killed Dhenukasura and not Krishna. One reason we gave before was because Balaram destroys avidya. Guru destroys avidya. Krishna doesn't. Krishna sends Guru, and Guru does it. The second reason why Krishna didn't kill Dhenukasura is because Dhenukasura has a history. According to the Garga Samhita, Dhenukasura is the son of Bali Maharaj by the name Sahasika. Bali Maharaj is the son of Virochan. Virochan is the son of Prahlad. Narsingadev promised Prahlad that I will not touch any of your family members in the future. I killed your father now, but I promise you, no other family member will die at my hands. So when they saw this, hey, this is Sahasika, the son of Bali, who is the grandson of Prahlad. Krishna said, I can't touch him because of my promise to Prahlad. I can't break it. So Balaram has to kill. And the third reason why did Sahasika become a donkey? Because Sahasika was enjoying with women on the Gandhamadana mountain. and he was laughing loudly and singing some songs, and he was just completely intoxicated. And in the neighboring cave on that hill, on that mountain, was Durvasa Muni. I don't know how, he just finds the right place to be. It's like just spot on. He was there, and he looks at Sahasika, and he says, you are singing songs and enjoying with so many women? You're acting like a donkey, I curse you, you will be donkey. Then you can bray as loudly as you can, nobody will care for it. He said, Sadhu, don't do this to me. He said, I've already cursed you, I can't take it back, but we can have some modification. He said, you will transmigrate for 400,000 years. And finally you will be a donkey. But because you asked for help, I can tell you, as a donkey, you will die in the hands of the most beautiful, compassionate, merciful, powerful Lord Balaram. And to keep the words of Durvasa Muni, Krishna backed off. He said Balaram, which means I can touch it, it's yours. 3 reasons why. This way, Srimad Bhagavatam opens up jewels, strings, necklaces of self-effulgent diamonds at every step. Sanatana Goswami, he embraces the Srimad Bhagavatam to his chest. He says, Asadu sadhu tadain ati nicho chataraka hana muncha kadachinmam premna ritkantayo spuraha. In his Krishna Leela Sthava, Sanatana Goswami says, Sadhu sadhuta dain. O Srimad Bhagavatam, you give sadhuta, saintly behavior, to someone who's demoniac. Ati nicha uchataraka. Somebody who's most fallen, you make him most exalted. First aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam, you take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And asadhu, sadhuta dain. If somebody is asadhu, not saintly, it is Srimad Bhagavatam's responsibility to make us saintly. So we don't have to think, I have to become saintly on my own. No. Take Srimad Bhagavatam and embrace to the chest. Srimad Bhagavatam will make one saintly. And ati nicha, which means very fallen, uchataraka. And Srimad Bhagavatam also guarantees the most fallen will be made as the most exalted. Sanatana Goswami says, I am a Baba who goes out for Madhukari. I can't carry 18 volume, 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam with me. Oh Srimad Bhagavatam, I pray to you, may these verses come and reside in my throat. So wherever I walk, I can just pull them out and fall in ecstasy. Oh Srimad Bhagavatam, I am praying to you. These verses, please reside in my heart and on my tongue. Through the heart I can feel, through the tongue I can sing, and I can just fall in ecstasy as I'm singing these verses. Sanatana Goswami is saying, Hana muncha kadachinmam, please never leave me, Srimad Bhagavatam. Premna rit kanthayospura, manifest in my heart, then on my tongue, so that I always remember. We covered close to 41 verses of 15th chapter in the 6 days. Srimad Bhagavatam has over 300 sub-chapters. This was in Sanskrit, with commentaries in Sanskrit by Jiva Goswami, by Vishwanath Chakravarti, by Sridhar Swami and others. We bow down at the end of these 6 days to all of these commentators. If not for them, we wouldn't be here. But that was all in Sanskrit. We don't know Sanskrit. It was Srila Prabhupada who took this nectar, this whole nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, studied these Sanskrit commentaries and added his transcendental realization, his ecstasy in these purports. If we purchase the Srimad Bhagavatam and don't even have time to remove the cover, just keep it as it is at home, we are wasting our human form. We have to go and dive deep. That's how we glorify Srila Prabhupada. That is the true Jai Srila Prabhupada. At the end of these 6 days, I bow down to Shukdev Goswami. I bow down to Parikshit Maharaj. I bow down to these commentators I roll at the dust of the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada lifetime after lifetime for introducing Srimad Bhagavatam in my life. I bow down to my Gurudev. I bow down to my parents. I bow down to my family for helping me. I bow down to Neelamani Prabhu and Radharani Mataji for inviting me, hosting me, taking care of me, arranging everything, cooking prasadam today all by themselves. And I, last but not the least, bow down to all of you. If not for you, I would not be able to speak. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Hare.